Hi Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is Sunday, September the 10th, and I'm back for my weekend update. I'm going to show you what I've been working on this week. I've not gotten a lot of stitching in. I've been kind of busy at work and just in life in general, so stitching has taken a back seat to life this week. I did get a few stitches put into my samplers by the Scarlet House. Here's the pattern. If you remember, I purchased this at the Marietta Stitchers Retreat last month. The host, Katrina Boyd, had finished this piece up, and I purchased it while I was there and gave it a start. I'm stitching it 1/1 on 32 count. Picture this plus L. So this week I finished up this bunny. I got a start on this animal, and I had finished up the letter A. I also put in a few stitches on the Fair and Traditions Pins and Needle piece. Once again, this is a stitch along. I had a few questions this week on my last video concerning this piece. There is both a Facebook group page called Needles and Pins Stitch Along, as well as an Instagram hashtag. So if you are part of the Stitch Along and you do not do Facebook, you want to join in on the Instagram group, just tag your update photos as Pins and Needles Stitch Along, hashtag Pins and Needles Stitch Along. Or if you do Facebook and not Instagram, you can just pop on over to the group page and join us in there. So this week I finished up the tree, a little bit more of the greenery, the puppy dog here, as well as the basket. I've not gotten to any of the specialty stitches. There are several specialty stitches within this piece. I think there was some over one. There's some queen stitches, but the banding here in the basket, I did stitch those with satin stitches. So that's where I am with that. I have been a very good girl. I have not been on the Bay of Evil again this week. I'm not confessing to you guys. I'm confessing to myself. I'm trying to be a little more accountable to myself and do a little less spending. I did order these two patterns week before last. They come in this week. They're both by Homespun Elegance. If you remember, I showed you the sampler Santa in my last video. He was so cute. He has the whisper beard and the pipe. Well, this week I got another Santa, but because patterns can't travel alone, I purchased this one as well. This is a Homespun Elegance Land of Peace and Plenty. There's actually two stitched pieces in this booklet, this one and this one. And these two patterns are just portions of this one. So as this one is the lady and gentleman at the duck pond, and here they are here. So that's what's stitched over one in this piece. And in this one, it is this here that is stitched. So that is a great idea. I know I've heard others mention here where if you don't like something, take a motif from another area of the pattern and stick it in the spot, and remove what you don't like and put the other pattern, the other motif in, or just stitch in a portion of a pattern, leaving the alphabet off if you don't like an alphabet. So this is, they've really put that to work in this pattern. But the Santa I purchased is the Colonial Santa, and I've been calling him the Benjamin Claus. So look at his hat, his tricorn hat. He's got his little drum there at his foot. And I do have a question. As you can see, some of these are stitched on band, what do you call it? Bell pull hardware. They have bell pull hardware, and I guess it's bell pull fabric. It's banded. That's not what you call it. But anyway, these pieces here. Now it tells you in here that they're stitched on bands, B-A-N-D, bands. And it doesn't tell me what type of fabric this is that he stitched on the standalone. It just says the dimensions if you stitch on 7 count, 11 count, 13 count, or 14 count. So on 1, 2, 3, I did not find any 7, 11, or 13 count. So I'm curious what type of fabric this is that he's being stitched on. So is that an older fabric that's no longer sold? I got a little more digging to do to find that fabric, but if any of you know already and can save me a little bit of Googling, just leave me a comment and let me know what type of fabric this is used, to stitch in, because I plan on, here's the other Santa. They're both standalones, see? And I want to stitch them both as standalones. So if you can pass that information on to me, I will be very thankful. I'll put these patterns in here. Also, because it's, speaking of Santa, it is Santa Sunday XS, which is hashtag Santa Sunday XS, which is a hashtag that was started by Paulette of Plum Street Sampler, brought to our attention by Chelsea and Priscilla, and I plan on starting this one shortly. I'm going to pull the threads as soon as I get off of the, finish this video up, so I'll be starting that one tonight. I have several of these ornaments, and I have not stitched one of them, so I'm excited to get started on that tonight. What else? I did show you in my last video, I didn't show you, Jacob showed you my Milk Hill Kit Boo that I was going to finish on the top of a paper mache piece. It is still wet, so I didn't want to bring it up here and get my fingerprints in the paint, but I wanted to show you some of the supplies that I have used on it, and one of them is this. This is purple, not periwinkle. Purple with black dots, and then this orange and black stripe are used on the piece, on the paper mache box, as well as, let me close these lids, as these paints. So on my next video I'll be able to show you a finish on that. So I'll have another FFO, fully finished object, not a FFF as Jacob calls it. This is my FFF, far from finished. Speaking of Jacob, thank you all for all your kind comments to Jacob in the last video. Yes, he is cute, and yes, he is hilarious, and he keeps his mama laughing all the time. He and his daddy go at each other all the time, teasing and one-upping and besting the other one with their comments, their sassy little comments, and I love it, and I will miss it when he is gone. But at this time, I love to hear those two banter back and forth. So he goes a little easy on me most of the time, but with him and his daddy, it is all day, every day when those two are together. But thank you so much for being so kind to him. He has read all the comments. He did not comment back to anyone, but he does want to do another video with me before he leaves, which makes me very happy. I'm not sure at which point or what, he's going to jump in and do another one with me, but we'll try to set something up here, maybe next weekend or the weekend before. But just so you know, he will come back to visit with all of you. On Monday night, I made the video Monday and posted it, and that evening he sat down with me and we watched a couple of the Flosstube videos so that I could familiarize him with some of the names that he had heard. And in the video, if you remember, I showed him my Jimmy Flosstube t-shirt. And so, of course, the first person I introduced him to is Jimmy Flosstube, and he got a kick out of his video, so his most latest video. So, once again, just to make sure you all understand, when you are kind, as any mother knows, when you are kind to my child, you touch my heart. So you bless me through your kindness to him. So thank you all so very much. What else do I have? The Distracted Stitcher, who has a Flosstube here as the Distracted Stitcher. Sorry, my battery. She saw this pattern I showed in my last video, which is Wesleyan Cross Stitch Designs, and it is a Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice pattern. she said she stopped, paused my video, went out searching, and this designer has a website. So if you really like Jane Austen, look this up. It is West Wind Cross Stitch Designs. They do have a website, or was it an Etsy? If it's not a website, check Etsy, but they are there. And she says she bought several patterns. So just make sure you're aware that they're there. I also showed you a Leisure Arts magazine that I had bought in a grouping in my last video. Bought several magazines that were Christmas, and I bought them for 2 specific patterns. One of them was a Mary Beal stocking, and the stocking pattern was not with a, it was the cover photo, but the pattern was not inside the magazine. Donna and Debbie of D Squared contacted me, and they had it, and the pattern itself was an insert, a centerfold insert in the magazine that could of course be removed to stitch the piece. My magazine was missing that, but they have been gracious enough. They are going to gift that to me this coming Friday when I see them. And I wanted to let all of you know that were commenting and planning on searching for it for me in your own stash, that I do have a piece coming to me, and that if you're ever looking for it yourself, just know that it is an insert. As well as someone contacted me that Mary Beal does have a, let me see on my notes, Mary Beal, yes, marybeal.com. So she has a website. If you're interested in her patterns, you can see them there. Another stitcher from the designer from the 80s. I mean, like I said, they've got it going on. I'm just very much into the 80s designers right now. What else? I am not thinking. Let's see. I questioned everyone, or mentioned in my last video, about a crease in one of my pieces that I could not get removed. I do have on Best Press, and I had not used it because I had forgotten all about that crease until I was showing you all in the video. Time has gotten away from me this weekend, and of course I have not tried to iron it yet. But just know I'm going to give the Best Press a try first. But I got 3 other great suggestions that I had never heard of. Someone mentioned that I could use alcohol to press it. I'd never heard that. Someone else mentioned using a equal part water and vinegar solution to mist the piece with and to iron it. As well as someone said to freeze it and then iron it. So those are things I had not heard of before. I thought I would throw those ideas out there to you all in case any of you were having the same situation I was with a very deep, almost permanent crease in a piece, to give those things a try to see if they work. I hopefully will give them a try this coming week at some point, and then when I come back for my video next week, I can let you know what worked best for me. So just a little tip and information that I received that I wanted to pass on. Someone else asked me about my project bags that I had made last week. I got questions. Here are the different bags that I had made. And then I had the Mickey Mouse bags. And some wanted to know where I got the fabric. This fabric, these 2 fabrics, came from Walmart. All of these fabrics, to include this one, came from Joann's. And they did have... what is the band down the side of the fabric? I'm just going to say the banding down the side of the fabric. They did have Joann's written on them, so I'm assuming they are actually made and distributed strictly by Joann's. So just know that that's where they can be located. And I also got some questions about the bags themselves. These are not my bags, meaning I've made them, and this bag belongs to me, but the design comes from Vanna. So she has a tutorial for bags, and I will make sure I link that tutorial below. The only difference between my bags and Vanna's bags is the Velcro. My Velcro is adhesive dots, Velcro dots. Vanna's is Velcro strips that also are adhesive, but she sews her Velcro in them. And I would say, if you've never stitched anything like this, don't hesitate to go and view her tutorial and give it a try. Your first one's going to be a learning experience. If it turns out perfectly, that's great. If it has mistakes, you can always look back on it and say, that's where I started. You're going to learn from it. Take notes and keep moving. Do the next one. Do the third one. Do the fourth one. You're going to get better each time, just as I have. But Vanna has a great tutorial. She walks you right through it. She answers most all of your questions. And give it a shot. If she doesn't answer all your questions in the video, message me. I'll help you best I can. Or message Vanna. Vanna, she is great at getting back with you. And she's more than willing to help. That's why the tutorial's there. She wants to help you. So you're not going to have a problem. Step right out. Step off that pier and jump in the water. You're going to do great. I think that's it. The only other thing I did want to mention is a couple of shout outs. One is going to be to Yanni here on Flosstube. She introduced her husband to us this weekend, Carlitos. So pop over and welcome him on his debut to Flosstube. It was great to meet him and to hear how supportive he is of her and her cross stitching. And that they had been together since they were teenagers, just as my husband and I have. So, you know, you really learn, each video you learn a little more about a person and grow to care about them a little more. So I was glad to meet him. I also met the Magnolia Nana today. That is the name of her Flosstube. It's her first Flosstube. So if you've not watched her video, pop over and give her a comment and welcome her to the community. She is a mother of 4 girls. She's a librarian, and she has stitched for many years and has just gotten back into stitching again, so welcome her. Also, Priscilla and Chelsea, I was actually talking to my husband about them today. My husband and I went out on a junking trip today. We went to a couple of places just to look around. And I did come home with a beautiful lamp. I've been wanting one, so I'll show that to you later. I am excited about it. But they have me looking at things in a totally new way when I go out. The way that they finish small items on things I never would have considered finishing an item with. Just blows my mind. But now when I go out junking or thrifting or secondhand shops, I'm looking at things differently. So thanks to you both for that. I'd also like to tell you about Fiber Talk, one of their I think it is their latest video. I don't think they're considered Flosstube, but if you go into YouTube and type in Fiber Talk, they're going to come up. And they did a tour of the attic. And oh my. If you've not seen it, make sure before you sit down, grab a pen and a piece of paper or a notebook, because you're going to need it. I don't know whether he's with the owner, the one that is doing the actual videoing is with the owner of the shop, or just with someone that works there. But great information as far as what count fabric is used for the samplers, what type threads are used, the name of the samplers. Of course, there's a Darlene Austin there, beautiful. They show class pieces from the past. They show a stitch piece as well as the original. If you're into samplers, go check them out. And I can't remember who messaged me to let me know that was there. I want to say it was Miss Kathy Boyd, but if I'm wrong, just know that whoever told me, I'm very thankful, because I did leave straight from the message and went to look. So thanks for introducing me to Fiber Talk. I do have a small giveaway, and this giveaway is actually not from me. I'm just the messenger. It is a giveaway by Golden Stitcher 39 on Instagram. She messaged me that she had the magazines with, pardon me, these three. If you remember from my magazine flip through, I had all three pieces but this, and a kind stitcher here saw that I needed it and sent it to me in the mail, and thanks again for that. I do appreciate it. But Golden Hair Stitcher 39 off of Instagram has these magazines and wants to gift them to someone here. So all I want you to do is, we didn't talk about how we were going to do the giveaway. Amid Amish Life is the name of the piece. Just comment something about Mid Amish Life. Don't comment that it's a giveaway. Just put Amid Amish Life in the comment, just the name of the pattern, and I will be sure to enter you in the giveaway. We'll do a random drawing because I'm sure not everyone will request it, and I will make sure that I keep a list of the names. And like I said, the thanks would not go to me. It would go to Susan, because she's going to be the one that is actually mailing it to you. I will gather the information as the messenger, and I will message that information to Golden Hair Stitcher 39, and she'll get them out to you. So enjoy your weekend. I am off to binge watch the remaining episodes of Season 7 The Walking Dead, along with my friend H.C. Gold, who is not far behind me in the episodes. We've been talking a lot back and forth the past 2 weeks. But have a great rest of the weekend. We've just got a few hours. Enjoy the coming week. And everyone, my Florida friends, stay safe. I'm praying for you. We're not getting much of the weather here, just some of the wind. We'll get some more wind and rain, a little heavier tomorrow. But for those of you who have messaged me to make sure I'm safe, the weather's not going to affect me here in South Carolina very much. Just as I said, the wind and the rain, because I'm about 2 hours in from the coast. But many others need those prayers. So make sure you send up a few prayers for those of our friends down in Florida and that are on that coast, and those that are still struggling with the Hurricane Harvey cleanup, as well as the forest fires out west. There's a lot of natural disasters going on, and a lot of prayers that need to be made, and there's lots of help that we can do even from here at home, whether it's donations. I just encourage everyone just to give what you can. Just give what you can, whether it's your time, whether it's money, whatever you can give. I'm sure it's going to be appreciated, and you'll be blessed in the giving of it. So have a great week. I will see you back next weekend. Until then, bye-bye.